Carl Blake, welcome to the Founder Baby Show live out of Dallas, Texas. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so excited to get information about the 35th anniversary of Americans with Disabilities Act. First of all, before we get into the celebration of it, just give us a synopsis and remind us what the American with Disabilities Act is, because it was civil rights legislation, really.
Yes, so the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed 35 years ago, and it really was meant to effectively end discrimination against people with disabilities. There was a time where the country was not really set up to be accessible for people, particularly with significant mobility impairments. I'd mentioned that PVA has been around for almost 80 years, and accessibility has been a core tenet of our mission since our founding. And so we've been involved in this fight to ensure that disability civil rights remain at the forefront of discussion from our founding. And the ADA really was sort of a culminating moment in that effort to recognize that people with disabilities are just people, and we need to ensure that they have access to the same thing that everyone else has.
I want my audience to know I'm talking with Carl Blake. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Paralyzed Veterans of America at PVA's national office in Washington, D.C. Carl, tell me, what's your connection, just because you're the CEO, or tell me what your connection with PVA is?
Yeah, so I am also a Paralyzed Veterans of America member. I was an infantry officer in the Army, assigned with the 82nd Airborne Division. I was injured in a parachute training exercise and incurred a spinal cord injury. And so I'm not just the CEO of the organization. I've been involved with PVA for nearly 25 years in a lot of different capacities because I care about the work we do, not just because veterans feel like my community, but because it also directly impacts me as a person.
Thank you for sharing your personal journey with us. What are some of the common barriers that the paralyzed and the disabled veteran faces today?
Yeah, so some of the common barriers are things that the average person might not even think about. Sidewalks and crosswalks, and whether or not they have curb cuts to make them accessible. Restaurants, and whether they're crowded or laid out in such a fashion to limit accessibility. Entertainment venues, hotels, which limit people with disabilities' ability to travel. We've even had members who have struggled to access health care, particularly in local and small communities in rural settings where small healthcare clinics may not actually be accessible. Our members have been reporting these types of challenges for many years, and I think more concerning is that these types of reports continue to come in even today.
Is there an emotional impact when these people experience these type of barriers?
Yeah, if you're a person with a disability, particularly a catastrophic disability, and you encounter a barrier that affects your ability to engage in society, it's devastating. The vast majority of people with disabilities spend most of their lives trying to maximize their independence, trying to live meaningful and fulfilling lives, and just be active and engaged in society. And so if they encounter a barrier that really prohibits their ability to have that experience in life, it is a devastating impact.
I can tell you, people without disabilities probably don't think about people with disabilities in their daily life until something happens to them. Like I hurt my leg one time. I couldn't get up on the curb. I couldn't push the revolving doors open. And then I had understanding and empathy, and probably not at the level that the people with the disability. How do we get people to understand this and not ignore this, or people to park in a handicap slot?
Yeah, really,
that drives me crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's just about public education. You hit on something that's very important. Part of our focus is on informing the general public, policymakers, and businesses that all have a role in ensuring the ADA is properly implemented and enforced. The fact is that the average person doesn't think about these things, as you said, until they have an experience. Maybe they get injured themselves, they get older as people age, accessibility issues come into play, and I think people don't think about those things until they have that experience. So we have built our entire campaign around barriers that still exist. If you go to our website, pva.org, you can see a number of PSAs that show the different types of barriers that are out there for all different types of people with disabilities. We have a petition online that calls for improved enforcement of the ADA. And ultimately, we just want to get people more involved, to have them, because they are a voice and they can be an advocate for this change. And I think people don't understand that while they may not feel like they are impacted because they're not a person with a disability, it's very likely that they know someone who is a person with a disability, given the sheer number of people in this country who have disabilities. And what we want people to understand is we should be advocating for accessibility for people with disabilities, because in that situation, accessibility for all means accessibility for people with disabilities as well.
Oh, I like that. We're going to end on that note. I want to thank you so very much. Could you give me that website again so people can go there and get more information?
Yes, so to get more information, you can go to our website. It's pva.org/barriers still exist.
Thank you so very much, Carl.
Thank you very much.
For giving our information to our audience. Have a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.